Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Queen's
Hey.
Talk. Tonight we have Lorna and we have Coffee with Joy. Thank you for joining us, ladies. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody where you're from and what you do?
Are we going from left to right or right to left?
Whatever way. We're not going to be too rigid about this. We just
Oh.
love one okay.
Well, I'll go ahead and start. So my name is Lorna. I go by Lolo. I am a PCOS advocate, model, blogger, all things lifestyle, dog mom, just very, diverse, if you will. I started my journey about 5 to 6 years ago in the modeling space and then transitioned over to blogging. And right now I'm just, figuring it out since the
Yeah.
pandemic hit, just redefining some areas of focus. And I have my platforms or System of Curves on Instagram. That is also my blog name. And then on YouTube, it's the Sisters Chat Room, which kind of encompasses just the other side of myself. Um, Still includes the blog piece, the PCOS piece, but you get to see some more personality from me. And that is really it, to keep it short and sweet and to the point.
Nice. Thank you for for coming tonight. I appreciate you. And we're going to go ahead to Miss Coffee with Joy. Tell us about yourself and where you're from.
I'm just digging my wig. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah. Yes, I love it with the hat.
It's just a flow for me. But hello everyone. I am Joy, of course. Coffee with Joy, your talk show host, as well. Blogger, fashion model, everything, all things lifestyle, travels, you name it, there is. But definitely the denominator of it all. I am a talk show host. Definitely just normalizing a difficult conversation, just talk about a broad spectrum of every little of everything, because every little conversation is worth listening to and worth starting. So definitely moving forward with that. So of course, by day educator, by night I am a media mogul. I know, I like how that sounds. You're trying to, hey, you put 9 to 5 to work, 5 to 9 for your, for your goals, and definitely you'll see your dreams come a reality. So that's all in a nutshell about little, and like Lorna, she called it Lolo, like Joy, they call me Joy. Mm-hmm. Coffee with Joy. Don't do that. Don't do that, Lorna. Don't do that. Don't do that. But yes. Yes, if y'all see me doing like this, I just like the flow of the wig.
Yes, it's
don't mind me.
It's like asymmetric, right?
Huh?
It's like asymmetric. It's like one long, one short.
Yeah.
Nice. It's nice. And I am Leslie from Brown Girls Embrace, and Brown Girls Embrace is where we uplift women who struggle with low self-esteem and confidence. And just to say, hey, sis, you got this, brown girls, you can do it. And when life throws you lemons, make lemonade, because what else are you going to do about it? So let's just embrace it and empower one another. And let's do this. This is what this conversation is all about tonight. So, Lorna, I know we had this conversation before. How did you and why did you get into this world of modeling and blogging and social media? Like, who would want, like, why did you do that? I know it's a lot of work. So why did you want to enter this world?
It is a lot of work, and I'm redefining how to make it work now. Okay, right. With more responsibilities that are on the plate. Because I'm trying to get a house, so it's just
nice.
It's a lot. It's just a lot all the time. But no, to backtrack. So I got into it more so as a challenge for myself to live my confidence out loud. When I first started thinking about modeling, I was in my 20s, but I didn't really know that plus size modeling existed. I just knew that, I like to take pictures, and I felt like, I wanted to be in that fashion scene, but I didn't feel like that there was a space in their carving for me to be placed in that scene, in that environment. In addition, I was going through some difficult changes. I was diagnosed with PCOS a little over 10 years ago. I think it's about 12 to be exact. And in that moment, defining myself as a woman was just up in the air. I was struggling with my femininity and embracing it and trying to figure out the nuances of who I was. So when I moved to the DC area and I started, getting more acclimated and meeting people, I realized that there was a space for plus size models and a space for me to advocate for women who are too afraid to kind of speak out loud. I felt like they needed a representation. If anyone doesn't know what PCOS stands for, it's polycystic ovarian syndrome. It is the number one cause for infertility and spontaneous miscarriages. So along with all the other nuances of PCOS, it's hard to feel like you may never be able to achieve what you were, biologically created to do. But I still wanted to show women that you can still find joy and life and laughter and confidence and feeling sexy and beautiful outside of the traditional definition of femininity. So that's where System of Curves really kind of birthed itself. And I felt like coming into the space of fashion and modeling gave me a story while also slaying. And so I wanted to merge those two. And then, social media, bringing that aspect into it kind of gives you that access to get to know people outside of your just geographical area. So I've met a lot of wonderful women just throughout the country and connected in ways that I never think I would have gotten the opportunity without it. So yes, social media is important. I love it. Kind of addicted to it. Kind of wish I had more of a battle rhythm on how to make everything flow together at times. But, there's a blessing in the work. I'm sure Joy knows. There's a blessing in the work. It's work. It's definitely work. And sometimes the payout ain't instantaneous, but you have to have a vision and a goal for your why. And I think once you get that, you keep going. So that's what led me to that.
That's a beautiful story that you wanted to share your story of am I saying it right? What is it called?
PCOS.
Yes. Because there's other girls like that are struggling with that. And to see you being confident and ripping the runway and be like, yes, I'm dealing with it. But I'm also turning lemons into lemonade. That's beautiful because we all need that push of encouragement when we're doing something. Like you said, the world on social media, you can reach out to so many different people that's in another part of the states or the land or the world or whatever, and they can be going through the exact thing. So it's very inspiring. So thank you for doing this and sharing the story with us. Go ahead to Joy.
What's that? What's the question?
Why did you enter this world into social media and modeling? And as you guys are models,
yes, because Miss Joy be out there on them runways, honey. She be out there with them heels clickety clacking.
And make it look like it's nothing.
Be out here clickety clacking. Okay,
come on now, Lorna. Lorna be out here clickety clacking too. But it was. I really do love the camera. I've always loved the camera as a child. So definitely wanted to, my major is broadcast journalism and, finish my master's for education. So my first love is always journalism. I'm probably like the only child you'll probably see watching the news consistently. I wake up with the news. I go to the bed with the news. If I'm traveling, if I'm in a hotel, it's always CNN. If it's not CNN, it's definitely Nick at Night or something, but it's definitely CNN or MSB, NBC or C-SPAN, because I'm definitely a news buff. I know a lot of people, they say it kind of drained them, but I kind of filter that part out. It's just that it's the drilling that I get from watching. And only reason why I did not foresee that is because me not living in, not having any family in the DMV area, which is the DC area. What they were paying me, of course, I had to just go ahead and grab me a box next to the trash can if I wanted to survive.
You can move to Maryland.
Girl, at that time, you just getting out of college and you really didn't know, resources were limited, they were coming. So of course, God made another path for me to get into education, which is still great. But my love has always been there, never deterred, it didn't go upstream. It just made a little right down the Rocky Mountains and came down on the rock, come around, going up. And it's still floating in another direction and not just going parallel. But definitely as far as modeling and the media, just the media as a whole, social media as a whole, definitely just gave me an insight and just try to encompass all together. Like I said, I just enjoy being in front of the camera, and I constantly just prayed about it. Like, God, how can I solidify a dream? It still burns in me. The passion is still there. Of course, we want to monetize on it, because again, I don't want my passion to outdo my strength and that I can't do it no more, because I want strong income, right? Because if I did have a choice, of course I'll leave teaching to do this completely 100%. I love teaching, but I love this even more, So modeling it was just like another avenue, because like I said, I love being in the camera. I love taking pictures. So again, that just added another pipeline to what I was already doing. And then I just encompassed everything that I was doing as far as like lifestyle, working out, eating, traveling. And then for many people don't know this story because I never told it. But even before the pandemic, I was like, I really want my own talk show, and I would discuss, with close friends and, my best friend back in Florida, I would say, I remember walking. And they just kept saying, you could do it. You could do it. And sometimes fear do hold you back. Fear do, strangle your thoughts and do put do tell you that you can. But again, I had to push forth and I said, you know what? Again, it was still burning. It's like I wake up with it. I go to sleep with it. I wake up and the fire it just completely just eroded. Like, whoa, it just consistently. So I said, you know what? Start with what you have, and that's what God is like just telling me. Start with what you have, everything. Just start with what you have. So I just basically said, fear is either going to be me or you, and I'm definitely not going to lose. So as I start to produce, Coffee with Joy came through, and I treat it like I am a syndicated talk show host. So, and I thank God for the stride. We've been in business for 10 months, but definitely look forward to, what the future has to come. So all of that. And still, even though I say I am a talk show host, which I am, I still encompass everything. I still do the modeling. I still blog. I still influence. I still travel and do everything. But that's part of the talk show where I'm able to meet people. I'm able to have people come onto the show. So that's what Coffee with Joy is about. And the reason why coffee is because that's something that I love to drink. I'm not a drinker, but coffee is just something that I can just grab, go, but it's a great conversational piece. You will always find somebody at the coffee shop just to have a simple conversation with. And of course, I utilize my name because it speaks volume. Everybody wants to be joyful. Everybody wants joy in their life, and not to say the actual name, but the actual verb. Everybody wants that despite what goes on. So why not just have coffee with joy? Just sit and let's have this conversation. So that's how
it sounds fun. It sounds like, coffee with joy.
Catchy. It engages you immediately.
Yes, I love her wardrobe. You got merch, Joy? You got merch?
She done created merch, baby. She got pins, hats. I done seen.
What?
She does it.
Yes. I'm in the process now because, I'm teaching my social network class. So we do have that process is coming. Definitely have everything in the works right now. So the goal is to sell merch. Amen. The goal is to sell merch, which we will, but definitely have that, just promoting it and going from there. So yes.
That's good. So let's go back to, you started Coffee with Joy during the pandemic, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you both, Lorna, what happened? Because you guys were on social media before the pandemic hit, but the pandemic hit and we're in it for 2 years and we're not able to rip the runway like we used to. What happened? Did you have to be more involved on social media or more streaming? What happened during the pandemic with your business and influencing and blogging and stuff?
I'll say for me, where other people were able to kind of innovate and move forward, it kind of put me in a space of rediscovery. I lost my job at the top of the pandemic. And so for a while, I didn't have the inspiration to create, but I was still creating during the pandemic and doing cute little cutesy stuff. And then it was just a hard road. Like, I'm just now kind of getting emotionally out of the space that I was in. When the pandemic first hit, I experienced a lot of loss. So as a creator, pushing through it's sometimes hard, but what it did allow for me to do is to create a level of vulnerability with the people that I am connected to through blogging. Because I think that a lot of people were going through so many emotions, from family members dying to job loss to just fear, overall fear of catching COVID, to uncertainty about the vaccine. And it just opened the conversation piece for me to kind of just shed down the glam and just kind of get real and have conversations with people about just real life issues, really dabbling into, mental wellness and spiritual wellness and the strength that it takes to have both, and the reliance that you need to have in your walk with God to push through some of the uncertainties and unanswered realities that are happening around you. So it kind of reset me. And now I'm still figuring, because, now Instagram wants all these reels. Okay. And I'm a model and I like pictures. Like, I'm not even going to say for anyone. Like, I like to create reels. I hate creating them, to be honest. So now I'm kind of getting an idea in my head of how I can merge the two. But, like Joy, we love the camera. So for pictures were everything. Like, to me, the videos are cute, but if you don't have time to edit it to a certain level, the engaging and funnies and stuff, it's just a lot more work to me to do a video than if you love the camera. So even kind of retraining myself on how to be innovative and creative was like, okay. But we still here. People still rocking with me, thankfully. I have not been consistent like I was before the pandemic, because I was everywhere, honey. Anywhere there was an event, I was there. Bag packed. If there was a runway, I was either on the runway or I was watching the runway, giving footage, giving, vibrancy. And to slow down that heavy kind of really takes a toll on your brand. But it's amazing for the influencers and creators that were able to capitalize, that just switch gears. I am not going to tell a lie. I was not that one. Now that Earth is opening back up, I feel my stride, but I'm more prepared if something like that happens again.
Right.
On how to mentally and creatively keep going. But it was not easy for me.
Go back to the emotional
pandemic. Oh well, this chat room was birthed during the pandemic. It's cute. I like it. I like having a platform.
What's your YouTube channel?
Huh? It's a YouTube channel, but it's not like a talk show like Joy's. Like, Joy has an actual talk show. She got guests, honey. She in there like, Barbara Walters, 60 Minuting. Like, she's giving and getting to the nitty gritty. Mine is more so like my opinions, talking about PCOS. I might have a guest here and there to talk about some like tough topics. That plague just, dating or relationships at times. But, for the most part, it's just more of a introspective of health, wellness, and all things me. I might expound on that eventually. Right now, that's all it is.
Right.
Let's go back to the emotional part. You talked about death. You talked about fear. All of that was happening because me having health problems, I thought the thing was going to kill me because I'm type 1 diabetic. And unfortunately, my grandfather passed away from COVID. And then my mom's best friend passed away the same day. So my mom's best friend passed away at 2. He passed away at 8, both on the ventilator from COVID. I'm a type 1 diabetic. My immune system is low. I was freaking out. We were scared. We were nervous. Emotionally, that was hard to even run a business and think practically. When you think, if I go around people, I might get COVID, I might get sick. Or your mind is just focused on protecting yourself when you do have to leave the house. So how was all that for you, Joy? Like, did that scare you at all? Like, leaving the house to make content, or emotionally being by yourself? Because I know you're single, you might be by yourself. How was that for you emotionally as a content creator?
My story is a little different. I traveled a whole lot. I was on people playing consistently. Really, I guess with me, I travel. Again, I wasn't living in the fear box, because eventually, I was just looking like, okay, but it seemed like it was just zoning in. It was getting closer. At one point, you watching the news, you hear from Bama Joe, you hear from Cousin Joe. You like, oh, Jim Crow cousin. Okay, Sarah Luke daddy. Next thing you know, you're like, it's somewhere here in PG County. What? It's like
Mhm.
eventually you saw my coworker passed away. Oh my God.
Oh wow.
It started to
Right.
come in, but I didn't let it sit. I said, you know what, God, it is what it is. I'm gonna still continue to go. I was precautious. I wore my mask. I made sure that I took the necessary precautions, but I couldn't live in fear because this was an opportunity that I completely went for. So when they told us on February 13, I got a text from from one of my friends at another school and said, hey, guess what? We don't have to be to work for 2 weeks. I didn't know what was going on. We was at work. I don't know. By then, the governor called off saying that all schools would have to be closed for 2 weeks. Next, 2 weeks turned into a month. And then that's when I realized, I can travel. And that's when I'm like every other individual realized, okay, we're using the internet. Internet's worldwide. So as long as I had internet, I was able to go. So I traveled. I went to like Texas, Georgia, Florida, even went to South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah. So, went to a few states, just travel. Literally, I would travel. And then once I got my schedule down from work, I utilized it. Okay. Wednesday it wasn't our day off, but we didn't have kids. So technically I didn't start work till 1 to 3. So that gave us time to put stuff together. So once I understand the art of my schedule, I literally got on a plane and I was going. I traveled. That's probably the most I've traveled in 1 year. I travel like 3 times a year, but literally it felt like I went to Texas like 3 times.
Wow.
Hands down. Went to Florida. I stayed in Florida, just came back home just to check on my home, went back to Florida, went to Georgia, then we went to South Africa. It's just, I traveled. But again, never once did I thought, now I know people are getting it that's around me. It was like so surreal, but I didn't let it scare me. I still did what I had to do. Then eventually I went out of town, came back, and I just felt, okay, I felt a little groggy. I just thought, well, because I was driving, because I had to go to New Jersey. So I came back and I said, something ain't right. But I once never thought anything of it. Came home and I was asleep. I had a project because I was in school, and I had a project that had to be done. So me and my team was going to talk 9:00 that Monday morning. And I said, hey, can we talk like at 2? Because I just need to relax. I just need to sleep. And we spoke, and I had mustered the energy. But I said, something's wrong. It's 2:00 and my body feel drained. I said, something is not right. So again, that was Monday. Tuesday, I got on the flight, flew back to Florida. I said, something ain't right. So when I got to Florida, I took a COVID test, found out I had COVID. And I was like, I lost my taste. So my thing with COVID is that I never had it. I never had it straight. So I had a symptom here, it left. Another symptom came, it left. So like I said, I felt tired. I felt groggy. I knew something wasn't right. But I never thought about COVID because, again, I just felt like I slept like you went to work all day and slept. Then I felt good. Next, I took a bite of my food and I just couldn't taste it. That happened like for almost about 6 days. And I did not want to eat because I just felt like I was eating air because I couldn't taste it at all. And I was just like, oh my goodness. So of course, when we did things, I just make sure that we was outside. I had my mask on. I would just like around the house because I wasn't sick. I didn't feel sick. I just didn't have any taste. So again, eventually it came back slowly, and then course it was gone. It just had to run its course, and I just thank God it didn't cause no respiratory or anything of that nature.
Yeah,
it could have been worse off.
Correct. So and thank God anyone in my circle, like as far as family, and my mom, she's on dialysis, so we kept her safe. We make sure that you didn't go in, because even though I was in the house, I stayed in 2 separate areas, and I wore a mask in the house. Because I was in Florida. I didn't know I found out in Florida. So I was like, oh my gosh. So we just did the necessary things just to make sure. And like I said, I always wore a mask. Only time I did is when I ate. She ate at the table and I just ate, in the living room. So we wasn't really close. It was more like, hey, Ma, you all right? Yeah. Okay. It's so that we can be away from each other. And I walked outside a lot just to get some air, So like I say, it took its time. But overall, I never gave it a thought until I had it. But then I knew it was getting closer. And at this point, you just realized that everyone is going to get it. Everyone's going to get it. Who had it is going to get it. That's how I felt at this point, because when we first started, it was like, huh? What? Huh? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, everyone's.
But I just got I just got COVID in May of this year. So it took me a long time to get it, but I got it. And I felt, like you said, I felt tired. I felt because of the diabetes, my body was extra sore. Because I went to Ocean City for the weekend. And, I didn't have her mask on, and we at the club, blah, 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 blah. And I came home, crashed. And I was like, is it because I was drinking too much for the weekend, or what happened?
Yeah.
But I took an at-home COVID test and it was negative.
Mm-hmm.
But then I kept sleeping and I called the doctor and she was like, "Yeah, I think you definitely have it." Then some of my friends had it as well. So
Yeah, it was crazy.
Lorna, you had it?
I have no idea. No,
Oh,
I have never tested positive for it. But I personally feel like I had it well before it was COVID. And the only reason why I say that is because I had if you look on the back of the Lysol can, it lists coronavirus, and this is before Lysol. I mean, this is before COVID ever happened. So I don't think that virus is new. I just think that it was much like Ebola and all of them. It just sprung up and it just went rapidly crazy. I would say a couple of years prior to this, I had a flu-like virus that took me out for like 3 to 4 weeks, but it wasn't the flu. And they were like, "We don't have anything for it. You're just gonna have to let it run its course. We can treat the symptoms," but that was that. And people thought I had quit my job and everything, but I literally didn't have strength for like a month. So and the only reason why I also feel that way is when I got my first shot, that is when I had all my symptoms when everybody else had it on the second shot. And I was like, well, I've never tested positive for COVID. So I must have had this already at some point in life. But in terms of during the pandemic, no, I have not had it. I am about to go get my 4th booster. Okay. I've had 3. I'm about to get the 4th, but knock on wood. But that doesn't mean I haven't felt like, I feel like we've all come in contact with COVID already. I think with some of us, it just did not produce enough antibodies to test positive, but you might have still felt symptoms from being around someone that may have had COVID and you just didn't happen to get it. Like there have been moments where I was so fatigued. I'm like, why am I so tired?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just sleep this weekend. I'm gonna just sleep. And then it'll be like, okay, I'm still tired after a week. Okay. And then bam, I'm back to normal. But I tested and it never tested positive. So I think I've had it. I think everybody will have it. It's like the common cold at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going away.
So go back to the social media being out there, because I know you guys do a lot of networking events. Was you guys ever against getting the booster or the shots or anything like that? Because at first it was like, I don't want it. But you guys were
much. Yeah, I got the 2 shots.
I got Pfizer. I wasn't playing games. I'm immunocompromised.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to attempt to see if I had a strong enough immune system. So I was for it from the very beginning. I had family members who weren't, but my black butt was going down there and doing it. And then when I did it first, then everybody in my family followed suit. So it was like I was the guinea pig. But I was just like,
worse. Things could be worse.
It could be. And I also took Pfizer because I was like, if Trump is taking Pfizer, then I'm gonna take it because they ain't gonna kill him. They wasn't gonna kill him, so they was gonna make sure he lived. So I'm like, well, if that's the one that he said he took, baby, give me who they preserving. Give me the same shot they preserving him with, because he old. He should have been okay. COVID ran all up and through the White House. Infinity. He was good. So I said, give me that one.
How old is Trump?
Like 75.
Oh, well. Yeah.
It's like 75, 76. Yeah.
Like at this point, he might be 80. Because I want to say he was in his 70s then.
Biden's 80. Yeah.
Oh, I know. He's like oldest president, right?
Yeah. He's the oldest president.
Yeah. So he might be right, but he right behind him. He got.
I know, right?
He right behind him.
He's 62.
Right. He right there. And
picking up dirt.
Was catching COVID around him, and he was still kicking, baby. I was like, give me Pfizer.
Yeah.
I want J&J. I know Dr. Fauci boosted Moderna. I used to work for NIH. Nope. Give me what they preserved the president with.
That was smart. That was smart. Yeah. Well, I'm happy that all of us got vaccinated and can protect ourselves, so we can now be out there in public. I know I met you guys at Crystal's Network. I don't know if Crystal is viewing now, but you guys have really got me to be out there and meet different people, because I'm just like really crowd shy. I can talk to a person one-on-one, but a crowd of people, that's just not my thing. I don't really do that. Like, I don't know, but meeting you guys was great, and I'm happy we're here today to. Oh yeah, Crystal is here. Hey girl, hey. You guys see her comment?
I do.
Oh, hey,
Hi.
Crystal. I didn't know she was there.
Yeah.
Hey, Crystal.
Yeah. Sorry you couldn't join us tonight, but we'll do it again. But anyway, Joy talked about the art of scheduling. Now that we had so much time on our hand on the pandemic, we had to learn the art of scheduling, and I know that means planning content. How did you guys do that? Like, was it hard? Was it easy? Or,
I guess I'm a stickler. So my main thing is that you got to force consistency. If you really want something, you really have to discipline. And my main thing, the hierarchy of it all, is prayer. Because again, I ask God to make sure that I am straightforward. Because again, you can fall off, right? But if I'm trying to fight for a life that I want, I got to stay disciplined. I got to force consistency. I can't give up on me. I am me in the equation. If I give up on me, then I'm going to lose. It's not no one winning or losing. I am the only one in this game. So I have to fight consistency. I have to I have to be stuck to this schedule. And it's not to say it's a schedule. It's just saying that, okay, every morning, if I get up, I'm a post. That's works for me. So I'm going to post. If I feel like, okay, Monday through Friday, I post. I may not post on Saturday, but these are conversations, self-conversation. I know there's a lot of apps out there. I know there's a lot of things that keep you up on track, but it's really a self. It's an inner thing to say, hey, this is what, but it's a goal. You're fighting for a goal. And you have to have intentions on what you're posting, on what you're planning, what you're looking for. Because I can honestly say that when I reach out to people or, reach out to brands, it's a greater chance. It's like a 90% yes, right? Because again, when they look at your page, when they see you, it's almost telling a story. It's almost giving an identification. So when I ask somebody, what do my page tell you? What does it look like? And if they're telling you something that you want to hear, that means you're doing something correct. You're in the right lane, right? So what is it that you want to give off? So now that I know I am fighting to be a syndicated talk show host, don't know when God is going to happen, but it's going to happen. I know, right? I know it's going to happen, right? And that vision's for him and I. So I know, but I have to pretend like it is here now, like I'm getting paid now. So I set myself up consistently. I am the producer. I am the anchor. I am the PR. So, but I keep fighting. I keep getting merch so people will know who I am. But again, I am not in a race with no one. I am not trying to compete with anyone. Yeah, like one thing about being a teacher, you're able to steal without going to jail. So you can look at someone's content and say, oh, I like how she maneuver. Let me see how can I duplicate that, because I like the format, right? There's no right or wrong to that. It's up to you. But again, you're fighting, you're maneuvering, and you're taking time. You're not beating yourself up. You're not trying to this is not a rat race. You're taking time because you're enjoying it. You're moving along. Remember, God give everyone the same time, 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. It depends on how you utilize it. So
I like that.
Correct. Remember, sleep is the death of cousin. So if you want to sleep all day and then think you're going to rise, that's fine. But that's not for me. I know when I rise and ask God, thank you for another day. But I make sure that is utilized correctly. That's the reason why I like to have content in brunch. That's why I like to go and meet people, because again, we're on the out now. So I schedule those times in to make sure I force it. I don't care if it's just you and I. We're going out. You getting to know the person. You fellowship with the person. Yep. I know that if I'm being a talk show host, I know I want people there. I want people to genuinely be there. I don't want you to be there because you have to, or you feel like, oh yeah, I got to be there. But again, everything is strategized. You make a plan. You set the plan for you, and there's no race. There's no, I got to come online and say, hey, this is my schedule. I didn't know. If you choose, that's up to you. But again, you have to make sure that I don't know who the higher being is for you, but I know for me, I consult with God. What is this? Because the Bible is real. And I know I follow Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain. So I write it down. I make sure what is it that I need to do. So I have what I have and what I need to do. So I move them over. It's a lot of moving pieces. But again, I am a stickler. I make sure that I am meticulous on my organization. Everything that I do, I make sure that it works accordingly. So when people look at the 1 and 2, I'm looking at 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. I do that at work. I do that at home. I do that on my blog. I do that everywhere I go. And I try to make sure when people say joy is across the board, 300, the 180, 365, whatever, full circle, because that's just who I am. you know.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, how to stick to the schedule, you have to create that schedule and you have to force consistency upon yourself. Are we human? Yes. Do we fall off? Yes. But you get back on, but that's part of it. Failure is the birth of success because every person who succeeded have a failure, have a testimony. That testimony means that, hey, what's his name? Rowan Bucket. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong, but he fell off 6 times before he became a multi-billionaire, you know? So when you hear people's stories, you're not alone. God never said that you're going to take these stairs and it's going to be an escalator. No one took an escalator. I promise you, probably Trump, but okay, look what happened. When you fight for it, you have a better joy for it. You have a better understanding for it. So you have to make sure whatever schedule you set for yourself and you put your end goal, as long as you can see your end goal, you got to keep running for it through the tears, through the cry, and involve people who are going to encourage you, who's going to push you, and ask God to remove those who are not seeking your vision. You see, you have to understand that. So that's part of the scheduling. That's part of being consistent. That's part of fighting. Because again, all of us could dream, but I don't want to dream anymore. I want to be in this reality. I want to be in this house. You know, I want to know that when I walk, I'm like, yes, Lord, you did it. But again, I got to move myself. How do I move myself? I got to move myself daily. Look at my plan. It's no longer 2 + 2. It's a big equation, but I can't leave myself outside of it. So you have to fight consistency.
Oh, I love your passion. Thank you for saying that. And the one that you said was failure is the birth of success is powerful. Like I'm going to write that down as a quote affirmation because sometimes we get down on ourselves because we failed. But you fail, you get back up and you try again. You don't keep staying down. You do it again. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And for me, it is hard to be consistent, especially when ADHD and my mind is going and I'm trying to do products, I'm trying to do hair, I'm trying to take my mom. It is like a lot to do. And but you have to realize it. When it's yours, you have to take responsibility of it. When it's your bills, your name's going to know those bills, and you have to pay for all those bills that came in your name. So my name is on Brown Girls Embrace. I got to take care of it because Joy's not going to take care of it. Lord, you know, we have to take care of what's our responsibility. And that's another thing when you take on something like a brand. You have to be consistent and realize it's yours and nobody else is going to run it like you are.
Correct.
Lorna, you have anything? I even forgot the question. The art of scheduling. I think that was the art of scheduling.
I haven't mastered it. So there's that. I am one of those people who struggles with, I like to do things organically when it's on my heart and on my mind to do. So I inconsistently post what's on my heart and mind, which happens to be daily, but you know, I think it's better when you have a consistent plan. And I used to, like I said at the beginning, God has had me still for the past couple months, not necessarily from a space of I don't have anything to produce. It's more so just redefining and rededicating myself to how am I going to execute in this new season with a different passion. Some things have changed, but to Joy's point, you know, you can't serve and not be consistent. You're the only person at risk. When you're sitting here suffering from imposter syndrome, that is you giving up on you. Because a lot of times when we're on social media and we see, you know, different people winning, they don't post the entire journey. They post when they win. Or you just started following them in their winning season. But there was a lot of consistency, a lot of failure, a lot of low moments where they might have been on the crux of giving up, but because their dream and their manifestation was bigger than what they could see around them, you know, the vision was there. The dream was there. God planted the seed, but they couldn't see it. You have to keep going. You have to be consistent. There are a lot of planning tools out here to help you be consistent. I'm going to be honest. The best way to be consistent is yourself, because sometimes the tools don't work.
That part. Yes, that part.
Sometimes they don't post. You know, I tell everybody, you know, pick a day. Like I know I'm off every other Monday. I haven't started it, but that's going to be that first half of the day is going to be my day where I put everything in perspective of what's getting posted and what I want to achieve this week. And then don't overload your schedule.
Yeah.
in terms of like when you're coming onto social media, be realistic with yourself. If you can only post twice a week, post twice a week, but be
Correct.
consistent in posting that twice a week.
Correct.
If you're going to do a talk show or a vlog once a month, be consistent on that once a month. And
Yeah.
then when you can have bandwidth, you add to it at that
Mhm.
point. A lot of times we want to bite off everything and then we
Yeah.
start choking because we can't chew it all.
Yeah.
And then we quit.
Yeah.
And that's something that I had to learn. It's like you can't be everywhere and do everything on
Yeah.
every platform. And I know Joy has probably experienced this too, where everybody wants you to be an influencer on their platform.
Mhm.
You know, you go here, Amazon wants you go here, this one wants you. Oh, I want to do Pinterest. I want to do this. And I'm not saying you can't do it all, but you may have to do it in phases.
Yeah.
If YouTube is going to be your focus to build your talk show, get that YouTube going. That's not
Yeah.
saying that you can't simultaneously do another platform in conjunction, but something has to be the priority. Every platform can't be the priority unless you got a team of assistants that are posting on your behalf on each platform.
Correct.
With something, you know. So for me, it's been kind of like I'm sitting still because I've had to downsize because I have so many profiles and I can't do all of them well. Okay. It is absolutely, I've tried. I have tried and I have tried like, okay, yeah, I got Instagram. Okay. I got to manage my Facebook page. Okay. I got to go into Twitter. All right. I have my Amazon storefront. You know, I'm an Amazon influencer. I got to go do the Amazon. Oh, I got the Pinterest business hub. Okay. I got like to know. It's impossible. So for me, it's downsizing and then rededicating and refocusing in the areas that I really want my fruit to be seen. But consistency, scheduling, realism, and flexibility. Even there's going to be some times where you got to be flexible with your schedule, but still consistent within the week. So if you can't do it on that Wednesday, like your normal, if something comes up, make sure like, all right, I got to shift this, but by Saturday or on this day, I have to, because I only have me. And sometimes people think that's selfish, but you know, I've had to tell people like, listen, might not be picking up my phone today. Love you, but it's on D&D because I got to get this done, because if I don't, then my vision is gone. Then the dream starts to fade. Then I'm just stuck. And I experienced that during the pandemic. I'm like, now I got to unsticky myself. It's a lot of work to restart after you quit something. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So.
But then, so I think a lot of people, what they drown at is where they try to do things and then post. It's okay. So in other words, you got to think, if you're a business person, you really have to think, well, like now we're in the season of fall. Right now, business people are thinking about swimwear. So you have to put yourself some days ahead. So when you do fall back, you're not falling back. You just say, you know, this weekend's off. I got enough to produce that keeps me going. So you have to track yourself. You have to put it out there, meaning that and I know you guys heard it on the TikTok and IG, where, you know, you are the content, you know, incorporate that. I mean, you don't got to produce. So if you go to brunch, take pictures of that. You don't got to produce that. That may become where I may use it the following Saturday, you know, because a lot of people say, how are you always able? It's because I'm always thinking, okay, how do I put myself in tomorrow? You know, where is it that I need to be in tomorrow? Because there has been days where I just say, you know, it's not today, I just don't feel like it, you know, and it's okay. But I'm okay because I put myself in a position where I have enough to produce, where I'm able to produce. And that's my choice. It's not to say I'm not on no one's time. I'm not doing it because, hey, XYZ, you know, no. Is I put myself ahead. So if I were to look at myself today, I have enough content that will last me at least 3 weeks. And I'm okay with that, you know? So, but that's how some people feel like, I just can't keep up. I just can't keep up. You can't take, let's be specific. If you're talking about you're a fashion blogger and you want to take pictures, but you only take pictures once a month, of course, you're always going to drown. You're going to drown yourself. You know, you have to batch. You have to put yourself ahead. What does that look like? But if you don't have a plan, you already defeated. You have to go in there with the plan and try to strategize for that. So that's where that consistency come in. But believe me, if you really want it, I don't care if you work 18 hours a day, you still going to produce.
That's what I said.
I was watching this picture from with Benzo, and you guys probably seen it. He was in his room when he first started. No one did he didn't have the vision. He was literally in a 1-bedroom, or it looks like he in his bedroom, but like a twin bed, and he's working at his desk and he's putting everything together. And slowly but surely he starts to maneuver, because again, people don't see your vision. You know, they don't, people can't believe you. Even with Chucks and Coffee, like, I'm just ecstatic like that. I did Chucks and Coffee. I miss you, Lorna. I miss you, boo. But
Girl, I was triple, quadruple. I was like, I don't know why I thought it was this weekend coming up.
No.
And it's not. So I was just like, and it's funny because Keisha reached out to me and I was like, you ain't getting no tickets, sis. You thought it was the other weekend too. I'm like, I done booked 3 things to do. And then I saw the email blast. I was like, no, I thought this was going to be Halloween weekend.
Oh, no.
But I saw the footage. You did an excellent job executing it.
Very beautiful.
You know, and that's part of my goal.
Very chic, very polished.
Thank you.
Very polished.
So that's my goal, is to do events, but I want to make sure they're effective events. So this is like a community service event.
You don't want to just put together craziness.
Correct. You know, I'm just like, I'm still on my high, so I'm just excited.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. I'm glad it was a success.
Thank you. You know, so that's why I really encourage, like, you know, us doing brunches. This is where those intimate, those small group, where you get to have those conversations, where you get to learn from one another. You know, you learn so much from each other, you know, and it's just, you don't have all the answers. So when they're intimate and you keep, you know, you bring people that share the same common goals as you, you're able to pick up nuggets that you didn't have before. Because again, I don't have it all, you know, but I got some answers. You know, thank God for that. I don't say I have all of them, but no one has all of them.
Honestly, we were created for one another in terms of, a lot of people think that you're supposed to be out here doing it alone. That is not a God's intention. Now you're supposed to be surrounded by the right tribe, right? The right people, spiritually sound people who mirror what his goals and his dreams and his word and his everything within you, right? But a lot of people go about this and they try to do it all by themselves.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. You cannot succeed alone. Jesus didn't succeed alone. How he might have went to his assignment alone, but he was surrounded by disciples for a reason. No one tends to understand, like, success is never achieved alone. When we look at the billionaires, there was a team. None of them are billionaires from their own merit alone. They're not the smartest in the room all the time. They're not the most skilled person at every component of their business. They may be the one that births the creativity, but they don't know how to execute. They may be the one that has the vision, but they don't know how to write it down in steps so that the phases can get completed.
Correct.
One man doesn't build a house. What happens? The contractor comes with his people.
You're right.
It takes a team, and batching and teamwork is always going to be more effective than people trying to. And that's why I fail at reels. I'm going to tell you, because I know I need assistance. I need someone else with me because I got all the equipment. I got the Pivo, I got the tripods, I got the ring light, and it's just me setting the things up. I'm just not the best at it.
Right.
You know, and it's okay. You know,
I love editing. That's my thing. I really do.
Yeah, she is a good editor. I went out to brunch with Joy twice, and we learned. I learned so much about editing and zooming in on pictures, and she is really, really helpful. And that's what I appreciate about you guys, is that even when I met you, I asked a lot of questions, and there's nothing wrong. It was no pushback of, oh, I don't want to answer her questions. Whatever knowledge you have, he was willing to share. And the Queen's Talk was created for women just to pour into each other, to say, hey, I got you, and we're going to do this together. And it's we sharing each other's platform with each other and audience with each other, and realizing that we in this Black community, we all we got sometimes.
Yeah. And I think another thing, not to be too talkative, but our gift is not our own. And I think that's another thing that people fail to understand, that God gives us gifts to pour. He does not give us gifts to hoard. And so you are supposed to be in spaces where you pour into others so that they can achieve and reach their purpose-driven life, right? And you can do it the same, because God's going to lift you the more that you lift others. That's just how the world works. His world. I can't speak for the other side of the world, but you know, and I think that that's one of the things, like when we met you and we were at the event, and one thing that I do know about Joy is that it's not an issue, because I can't interrupt the vision God has for her. So if she pours in a skill that she knows, or she teaches me something, that's not taking away from her. If I
Mhm.
tell somebody something, it's not taking away from me, because what
Right.
God has me on and what he has purposely for me to do cannot be interrupted unless I choose to stop.
Yeah.
Me giving you something cannot take away from that, because even if you could copy everything I do, what's a copy? Because you still can't copy the mind.
Correct.
You can't go in there, and you're not putting me under, you know what I mean? You're not hypnotizing me to figure it out. So I tell people, I don't even care about who copies me, because at the end of the day, if you got to wait until I do what I'm supposed to do to get something, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, we still gonna get out here and go. So I think a lot of people are afraid to share because they're afraid of that. They're afraid of someone taking something from them, or someone taking their shine, or someone doing something like them.
Up top one shining, the only one shining.
It's just craziness. I'm just like, girl, can't nobody stop you.
Yeah.
Okay. What's yours is yours. It is what it is.
Yep, that's right.
Yes, Crystal said 100%. What's for you is for you. That is very, very true. Well, thank you, Queens, for joining me tonight. Is there anything that you want to tell anybody that's coming up? Any events, any functions, any modeling, runway events are going on?
Well, any of you out there and you would like to take part of Social Network, definitely join. The link is in my Enjoy Curves and Coffee with Joy bio. Definitely, please, if you like to learn, and this is for the novice, for someone who's like who's a beginner, or who's afraid just to get out there and just really monetize, who want to learn. You definitely could take this class. It's very interactive. This is not a class where you will receive a bunch of pamphlet writing material. You may receive a cheat sheet, but I am a firm believer when you're in it, that you take that with it. Because how many times we take stuff home and we don't read it, right? Or you're right, and you're like, it's the 8th day pass, and you're like, okay, where's that paper? She said it, but where? So, but when you're in motion and you're learning, you will remember those steps, you know. So this class definitely is for the person who's willing to learn, who's probably stuck at a street and just don't know where to turn. That's where I come into play. And not to say I have it all. You may be teaching me something, but definitely this is going to be an interactive, fun class. Join my class. You could speak to 1 million second graders. They will tell you that I'm very fun. Teach you all. But yeah, so definitely look forward to that, as well as some events. Me and Crystal, we have an event coming up soon, but we'll let you all know. Yes, Crystal Boo. Yeah, you know. Hint, hint. You know, because that's what I asked God, you know, it's in me. I like to put on events, right? So doing Chucks and Coffee, I couldn't live in fear. Because again, I don't care if it was one person that showed up. Jesus went back for the one. So I have to trust him. And doing this event was fun, was exciting. There was no lack. It was like everybody who I asked or reached out, gave a little. There was some little pushback, you know, what was it? What is it about? You know, after you say it. But again, that's part of the process, right? Hey,
it is
new levels, new devils, right? But you just smile and keep going, because again, if I say, let's go to the club, automatically your head ring with dancing. It may be a church ceremony.
Mindset.
You know? Yeah. You see, so again, people need that type of thing. But at the end of the day, Social Network, we have other events coming up. Stay tuned for something great. But yes, Enjoy Curves. You can find me in Coffee with Joy on IG, Facebook, and Twitter.
And I can't wait to do brunch. All of us can do brunch together, because I missed the last group brunching. So hopefully
did.
But I put in the chat though for November 12th.
Yeah, I will be there.
Mona and Keisha did not respond. Shakita, Leslie, Joy responded. Hint, hint. Look at Lolo did not. Let me say Lolo. Alexis.
Well, you know, okay. I'm probably gonna be able to do it. It's my Founders Day that day. I'm sure I won't have any events though. I haven't signed up for anything. But I'm probably gonna come in.
But it's November 12th, so
yeah, it's November 12th.
Would love to.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
a brunch girl. I'm team brunch.
Yeah, you know, I like to be out in the open. It's open. Hey, only you know your pockets. If all I can get is coffee, you're around great people. You learn something new. So you know, it's just being in people that's here, and that's how you get to grow your community.
Exactly.
And
I have a brunch.
We had a whole experience. Our last brunch outing, like. We'll tell you about it one day. But that was a day, wasn't a joy.
It was fun. It was very fun.
Plus, I need to go ahead and get my stuff from Chiquita, because I purchased from her business, and I have been busy.
She talked about that too. She said
it ain't even been her.
Pay for it and then come. I said she probably been busy, child. I don't know.
Like,
this is Queen Talks, everybody.
it's been a lot. I forget. I'm like, dang, I'm supposed to give her my address. Dang, I'm supposed to pay for shipping. I already paid for it. Dang. But I'm gonna get it because I want
It's a
it.
dang for me.
Yeah.
Dang.
For me,
Yeah.
nothing yet. Stay on. My birthday comes up in December, so I'm sure there'll be
December
something
what?
around that time. 14.
I'm the 15th.
So it's my best friend.
Oh,
She's born the 15th. Yeah. So I've been chilling. So no major events coming up yet. Putting my pinky toe back out into socializing and networking. So nothing on my horizon just yet, but it will start to fill up. End of year all the way through next year. Once again, Flights Not Feelings will commence again. Anyone watching can find me at System of Curves. That's CYSTUM of Curves on Instagram. And then on YouTube, it's the Sisters Chat Room, CYSTA' chat room. Can't miss me. Big banner of all me on there. And Facebook is System of Curves as well. I do have a Facebook page. The blog is System of Curves. It's just COC everywhere. And yeah, hopefully somebody out there gonna follow me. I love meeting new people. And that is it.
Your personality is so bad. I'm sure you will draw some people to you. Yes, and I will be at Robin Hill Winery with my products November 26th. So hopefully you guys come out for my Black Friday weekend sale at the winery in Brandywine, Maryland. I'm looking forward to that. And thank you.
I love wine.
Yes.
What day?
November 26th. It's a Saturday, Black Friday, right after November 26th.
Right after Thanksgiving, honey.
Yeah. So I'm having a whole Black Friday sale for my products or whatever. So I'll be there. I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, thank you for joining the Queen's Talk on my podcast edition on YouTube. I'm normally on IG on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. Joy is at 7 o'clock on Wednesdays. I'm at 8 o'clock on Wednesdays with the Queen's Talk, talking to different queens about overcoming and entrepreneurship and embracing and empowering one another. So catch me out there. Joy, what's your IG name? Coffee with Joy?
Enjoy Curves and Coffee with Joy.
Enjoy Curves.
ENJOY Curves. Enjoy.
Joy. I am a Leslie from Brown Girls Embrace, just Brown Girls Embrace /_LLC. And thank you everybody for joining tonight. All the people in the comments, thank you for joining. And I appreciate you ladies. I hope we had a good Queen's Talk tonight. So thank you for joining.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
All right, good night,
Thank
ladies.
you for having me. Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.